Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to our training video. Richard Hale here with teachingonlinebusiness.com. This is our client acquisition systems training. Very, very important for those of you that are client businesses. If you don't have a client acquisition system in your business, you're going to want to pay attention because this is the type of system that gives you reliability. It allows you to know how many clients you're going to get each month. It allows you to know how much revenue you're going to make. So you're going to want to pay attention. Make sure you have a paper, pencil, pen, note. That way you're taking notes and you can write what you learned down. So I'm going to take you to the main top of our client acquisition funnel here. Now, many people are out there doing a lot of different things to attract clients. Here's the question that I have for you. Is it working? Are you able to bring clients in all the time? Or is it the opposite? Are you chasing clients down and begging them to work with you? You have to be able to leverage paid traffic, and that's what we do at the beginning of our funnel. We are utilizing paid traffic, and here's why, ladies and gentlemen. Paid traffic. I can set up a campaign, and I can have tens of thousands of people going into my environment. Code audience, right? Going into my environment, getting our high authority content, our value content, getting them on our list, getting them to engage, building that relationship with them. It's super, super important. I can have it done in 15 minutes. So think about what you're doing right now. The SEO, the podcast, the content marketing, the live videos. There's a lot of different things you're doing right now that's taking 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a week to attract clients. And it's obviously not working when I can take literally an hour or two each month and I can drive hundreds of thousands of my ideal clients in a matter of minutes. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? Instead of doing all those things to attract clients, utilize paid traffic. That's a big difference between being out there and having to actually manually drive all this traffic when you have paid traffic at the fingertips that you could turn on and off like a light switch. That is a big deal. That's why we use paid traffic. That's why we're able to build audiences and different things. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with paid traffic, and this training is not on paid traffic. That's for another time, but just know that's leverage. That's what you're looking for. Those of you that are strapped in your business, you have to use paid ads. We are driving them to the first step in our client acquisition system, which is a webinar. And there's a reason why we have a webinar here. So let me explain what I mean when I say filter. You want to have a client acquisition system that filters the good and the bad. Not having to manually do this yourself. You want it to be automated. That's why we use a webinar as a first step. So yeah, essentially we're driving code traffic to a webinar and we're getting results. Now, we are getting as much as 50% opt-ins, which is way above industry average. Industry average is probably around 20, and it's going to be different depending on which industry you're talking about. But we are able to be around 50%. That means if we drive 10,000 people to our webinar, we have 5,000 of them getting signed up. Now, you may not be that high. You really have to know your target audience and your ideal clients and really have your messaging dialed in. If you can get 1 out of 5 coming into your system, coming in and signing up for your webinar, that's pretty good. So even though 50% is way above industry average, use 20% as a benchmark. So we are driving traffic to our webinar, and if you sign up for the webinar, of course, you're going to go to a confirmation page. We use the confirmation page for different things. You can have a video there, that's fine. You can have a message, you can invite them to your Facebook group. A lot of people do that, but the main thing, I want to know how many people signed up for this versus how many people that went to the webinar and didn't sign up, because I want to get back in touch with those people. maybe with my first ad it didn't resonate. Maybe we focused on one pain or problem and not another. So what we do, everybody that comes to the webinar and doesn't sign up, we have our Facebook pixels. And many of you are already kind of aware of Facebook and advertising and marketing. Your pixels are your tracking code. So we can use a different ad on Facebook, and we can drop them back to the webinar, and hopefully we'll use a different marketing hook, and hopefully they'll get signed up. That way, even if you're at 10-15%, if you have these retargeting ads in place and it's focused on a different pain or problem, hopefully you can get that up to 20-25% or even higher. And if you are getting up there to 30-40%, that's a good thing. That means your message is dialed in, your audience is dialed in. So 50% is high, but as a benchmark, try to get at least 1 out of 5 signing up for that webinar. So they go to the confirmation page, they're going through the funnel. The next step, this is the actual webinar room. So we have 2 pages dedicated to the webinar playing. One's the webinar room, one is the replay. Now, essentially, we want everybody coming through our client acquisition system. We want them to go straight through. Now, with our webinar, we've tested a lot of different things over the last few years. We have found that playing at the top of every hour is best. So yes, this is an automated webinar. We did it live once, boom, we're done with it. And it's automated. It works. We're getting clients, so it's dialed in pretty much. But we tested a lot of different things. We tried them every 15 minutes. We tried them every 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We tried them days out, and we just found that beginning at the top of every hour is best. So our webinar plays 24 times a day. So we're driving traffic in all day long, 24 hours a day, and it plays at the top of every hour. That works really, really good. Now, the replay room. Of course, when people sign up for a webinar, not everybody's going to show up. But the good thing is, by this time, they already signed up for the webinar, so you already have them on an email list. So the webinar replay is here. That way we can target everybody that got signed up but didn't. Here's what you have to remember. Everybody's busy, right? People forget. I sign up for webinars all the time. I forget about them. I know you guys do too. We're busy. Everyday life gets in the way. So you want to have the ability to get people back to the replay. This webinar, it's really, really important, because if people are not consuming that content, they're not going to go through the rest of your client acquisition system. You want them to consume the webinar. Now, these 2 pages, your webinar room and a replay, those are individual pages. The reason why we want to track how many people go to the webinar room versus how many people go to the replay room. Those data points are really, really important. But let's talk about the webinar itself. Most webinars are usually, 45 minutes long, 60 minutes long. Some are even longer, but most of them, at the end, they're selling something. Ours is different. We don't sell on our webinar. Instead, what we are actually doing is giving them what we call a next step. We're giving them an opportunity to go and schedule a time to talk with us. We want them to schedule a breakthrough strategy so we can get them on the phone and we can talk about their business and we can see if we can help them. So that sequence actually goes to the schedule page. Then it goes to an application page. And then to a phone call where we're actually on the phone talking to the prospect. So let's think about this. Let me back up. Let's talk about the webinar. Again, our webinar offers a next step. So what does that look like? So, for example, say you have a 60-minute webinar. At maybe 55 minutes, this is when we present the offer. And the reason we have this design like that is we want to know how many people saw the offer in the first place. So we know if somebody was on our webinar for 55 minutes, we know they heard the offer. Now, if we have people that maybe left at 20 minutes or left at 30 minutes, we also know they didn't see the offer. So we're actually able to come back up here, and anybody that came to the webinar but left early, we'll just call that early. Anybody that did that, we want to get them back on the webinar. That way they're watching the whole webinar. That way they see the offer. That's another way to optimize. But let's talk about this offer. All we're doing is giving them the URL. So we're showing them, hey, if you go to teachingonlinebusiness.com/apply, you're going to have the opportunity to go and schedule a phone call, fill out an application, let us know what's going on in your business, and we'll get on the phone and we'll talk about it and we'll see if we can help you. So that's the last part of our client acquisition system. And there's a few filters in place here because number one, what are you doing? You're asking them to take another step. So they have to take the step. They have to go over there and do the scheduling. And all of this is done on autopilot, by the way. You can use schedule once. That's what we use. And you can set that up to be automated. But they go to the schedule page. Then we ask them to go to the application. It's another filter. That is another time commitment. And we ask 12 or 13 questions. You remember? I don't know. I think it's 12. We ask 12 questions. And they need to fill out this application because if they don't fill out the application, we don't schedule a phone call. So, and we tell them that at the top of the page, you have to fill out this application if you want us to help you because we need to know exactly what's going on in your business because if we don't, then we're not going to be able to guide you. The phone call is going to be long because we're going to be explaining all those different things. We need to know beforehand exactly what's going on in your business, and then we go to the phone call itself. So these are filters. These are asking our potential clients. They need to make another time commitment. So think about the whole client acquisition system now. They're going from a cold audience. They're going from the webinar. Right there's our first filter. A big time commitment, right? To spend 45 minutes to 60 minutes with somebody you don't even know and you just met. That's a big thing. Then going to the webinar itself and spending that time. That's a big one. Now let's back up and look at the whole client acquisition system here. So we're going from cold audience, they're seeing our ads, we're going to a webinar, getting signed up. That is a time commitment itself. Then going to the webinar and actually consuming that content, that is a big time commitment. By the time they get here and they see this offer, they're kind of pre-qualifying themselves at this point because if they're taking the time to consume all of our content and are going through our system, we're putting them higher and higher. They're a higher caliber lead at this point. And by the time we get them on the phone, many of them, they've already sold themselves. They've consumed the content. What we're talking about is making sense to them. And that's why this client acquisition system is beautiful. It works so amazing. And if you put this in your business, you're going to see a day and night difference, especially for those of you that don't have it. Because again, it's mandatory. If you want that control, if you want that predictability, you gotta have it. So kind of focusing on these last 3 points here. So they go to scheduling, they go to the application, they fill it out. So by the time we get them on the phone call, they are a high quality lead. So these filters in our client acquisition system, it attracts our perfect client, and anybody that's not a good fit, they're not going to spend enough time to get to this point. You can't block everybody, okay? It's going to happen. Some people are going to get through. But imagine if I didn't have these filters in place. I'd have a ton of phone calls, and I'd be on the phone for days and weeks and months and talking to literally hundreds, if not thousands of people that would not be a good fit for my business. So the time commitments, the filters, they're so important to have in your system. But this is our client acquisition system, and it's beautiful. I love it, and I don't mean to get all emotional with it, but it just made a huge difference and it gave us full control. Helping our clients, that is our top priority. We want to help our clients as much as possible. And even those that are not a client, it's not like we get on the phone and we're like, well, Jake, yeah, it's great, but you're not going to be able to get into our program. You're not a good fit. I wish you the best of luck. It's nothing like that when we get on the phone with our potential clients. It's either yes or no, but when it's no, we don't leave them hanging. We are helping them. We're going to be like, well, look, Jake, if you do ABC, come back in 2 weeks, reapply, I think you could get in. We give them next steps. We don't just cut them loose. And if they need help in other areas, we're going to send them to somebody else. So we always do everything we can for our clients and for those that connect with us, because they did take that time commitment, and some people are just not ready. And you, again, you have to guard your time. You have to be careful. You don't want to let the wrong people into your program, but some people can be right on that border, and they just may need a little bit of help. So offer that help. Your clients are the most important priority. So on the phone call, if they don't get into our program, we help them take the next steps. That way they're not stuck. So there's a lot of good people that have come in. We've turned them down on at first, and now they've come back into the program. They got accepted and they're thriving. So this is a powerful, powerful system when you use it right, when you get it dialed in. So I hope you guys will take this system, model it, and put it into your business, and you're going to see a day and night difference. And for those of you that do want help, for those of you that would like help implementing this into your business, you can always reach us at teachingonlinebusiness.com. Apply, schedule a time, fill out our application, let us know what's going on in your business, and we'll get on the phone and help you. So, complete transparency here. But that's all for now. Have an awesome day, have an awesome week, and we'll catch you on the next training video.